Sports Live. It's Fox 44 News, Baton Rouge.
Good evening, I'm Danielle Grossman. Thank you for choosing Fox 44 News Baton Rouge tonight. Some crime news for you tonight. First here in Baton Rouge as police are investigating the city's latest shooting. It happened just after 9:30 last night in the 1800 block of Plank Road. Officers found a 25-year-old man with a gunshot wound. We're told he was taken to the hospital and should be okay. As for what led to the shooting and who did it, Baton Rouge police say they don't have much to go on at this point. In New Orleans now, where people are stunned after a pizza delivery driver was shot. He was killed early this morning. Shortly after making a delivery, police say their believed car was jacked. Someone reported the man down in the middle of the street. They say he had been shot multiple times and died at the scene. Police are now searching for the suspect and the driver's missing car. A 48-year-old woman's behind bars in New Iberia for allegedly cutting her boyfriend in the neck. It happened yesterday, and deputies got to their house and found out the victim, 51-year-old, had suffered a laceration to his throat. He said that he was in a fight with his girlfriend, Jennifer Boudreaux. Detectives say Boudreaux cut the victim's neck while the victim was attempting to use the telephone with the intent of killing him. Boudreaux was charged with attempted second-degree murder and was booked into the Iberia Parish Jail. Detectives also need your help figuring out who robbed the Dollar General on Starring Lane last night. Police tell us a black man with a gun went into the store, pointed at an employee, and demanded money. He got his cash and then took off. You can sort of see the man here in this surveillance photo. He's heavy set with a black hat. If you can help identify him, call Crime Stoppers at 344-STOP. In Gonzales, officers there need your help finding these suspects accused of robbing someone in the parking lot of the Waffle House. It happened on September the 9th. Police tell us a man was getting into his car when the two men walked up to him and put a gun up against his throat. The men took the man's wallet and other items before leaving in either a Hyundai Sonata or Elantra with Texas license plate. These photos were taken out of the men using the victim's credit card after the robbery. In Opelousas, a quote drug house is now shut down and 3 drug dealers are behind bars. Police say they worked with several agencies on Operation Shop Closed. They pulled heroin, crack, ecstasy, marijuana, $5,000 off the street. Authorities say they've shut down a quote drug network that stretched from Opelousas to New Orleans. They arrested 30-year-old John Davis, 25-year-old Kevin Davis, and 21-year-old Clarence Hamilton. They're all facing multiple charges tonight. New at 9, a big victory tonight for the LGBT community in Louisiana. A state judge in Lafayette says the state's ban on same-sex marriage is unconstitutional. 2 women challenged the law in an adoption proceeding. Equality Louisiana President Tim S. West responded today, saying, quote, Judge Edward Rubin affirmed that we've known all along Equality Louisiana that loving, committed same-sex couples are building strong, healthy families in our state, and that their love deserves full recognition under state and federal law. Equality Louisiana is eager to continue this conversation in the state as we move closer and closer to winning the fight that will bring the freedom to marry in Louisiana. An investigation is on now to figure out how an experimental plane crashed, killing 2 people. It happened yesterday evening near the Reserve Airport in St. John the Baptist Parish. 2 people died as a result of that crash. A 42-year-old man and a 13-year-old boy were flying in a gyrocopter that they kept at the airport. People we spoke with say the type of plane is usually one that's built at home. Witnesses say the aircraft rose about 300 before its top blades folded upward, sending the plane crashing to the ground. More news out of St. John the Baptist Parish, where health officials are trying to kill off that brain-eating amoeba. But as a result, many residents are feeling a chlorine burn. But now it's the remedy that has residents complaining. In fact, one man in the reserve says the smell of chlorine got so bad at his house, he actually paid to have an entire filtration system installed. More water problems, but now in French Settlement. A boil order is now in effect for residents there. That's after crews found a busted water line along Highway 16. The pipe's been fixed, but the water supply may have been compromised. So residents are being told to boil their water for at least 1 minute before drinking or even using it.
It's a pain having to boil the water because I got children in here and I'm constantly afraid they're going to be drinking that water from the faucet.
Crews tested the water this morning. The boil advisory will be lifted once the water is deemed safe. However, just to be safe, residents should boil their water until noon tomorrow.
Well, autumn gets a nice welcome. Take a look at our state. Look at temperatures have already fallen into the upper 60s. We're going to cool off nicely this evening. Expect our overnight lows to fall into the lower 60s. We're looking at temperatures the next 2 evenings sitting just a little bit below average. 72 is our current temperature. Same thing over in Lafayette. A little bit warmer in New Orleans at 81. But the main thing here is looking at our muggy meter. You can see where all that humid air sits. Now it just hugs the coastline as our feel-like temperatures sit from 78 in Homa to 81 in New Orleans, but a lot of areas we've dropped that feel-like temperature, so that spread is exactly what that actual air temperature is. Look at the statewide cloud and radar pictures. Still looking at clear skies across the state. That front is driving further south, and with it, it's taking all that rainfall. We got a nice dry forecast for the next few days. As you look at your overnight planner, we're looking at clearing skies, dropping temperatures. By the time we get into the morning hours, we're talking temperatures that are going to sit in the lower 60s. A very comfortable forecast. Pretty gorgeous week ahead of us. We'll have the full details in just a bit. Danielle?
Traffic alert for you. Drivers in Ascension Parish can expect lane closures every day on Highway 30 between the Iberville Parish line and Tanger Mall, where crews are going to be doing repairs, and this will last until February. Your best bets to avoid Highway 30. You can take Highway 73 to I-10 if you're headed east, then exit in Gonzales. If you're going west, you should take 30 to I-10 and then exit at Highway 73. More travel news, this time in the skies. The U.S. Department of Transportation is sending more than $18 million our way. Now 11 Louisiana airports will each get a share of that money. Baton Rouge Metro Airport's getting $1.6 million to improve runway safety, cut down on noise, and make some structural repairs. Lafayette General is getting more than $5 million, and Alexandria International will get $7 million worth of grants for repairs. Senator Mary Landrieu's campaign's under attack once again as some feel she's having, quote, too much fun. A couple photos of Landrieu have caused a lot of controversy. While she was tailgating at the LSU game this weekend, she helped a man do a keg stand. Republicans and political commentators quickly attacked her for doing something immature. Today, she just laughed it off and said Republicans need to get a better sense of humor.
The gentleman that did that is 28 years old, and he has also graduated. He's got a master's in business, so I think he can make a decision for himself what he'd like to do. I thought I did pretty well by not doing it myself.
Landrieu's Senate seat is one of the most hotly contested in the country, but one expert told us that the photos won't have any impact on whether she gets to stay in office.
These sorts of events basically reinforce views that people already have of each of the candidates.
Landrieu made 2 appearances today on behalf of Congressman Cedric Richmond, who's also up for re-election. She joked that they have a good time together in Washington, but not as good of a time as she has while tailgating. The chief of Gonzales Police says he's going to have to waste money because of fighting between the mayor and city council. Fox 44's David Littman explains where the city stands in getting a final budget and how the delay could impact everyone.
I don't know if this council will ever change their minds.
Let's call a meeting to order.
Gonzales will go at least 4 more weeks without a capital outlay budget, which covers large equipment purchases and construction. That budget was supposed to be in place by June. The holdup is money the mayor wants to give the police department, which the council majority disagrees with.
The mayor and I will continue to fight for as long as we can. And maybe they'll realize how important that this is to us.
Most of the money would pay for 9 new police cars. Chief Sherman Jackson has said some of his cars are in bad shape, and in about 3 weeks, he's going to start spending what he calls bad money.
I have old units that need to be repaired. I'm facing repairs, and it's, you know, you just wasting the taxpayers' dollars if you repair a car that's generally not worth, the value.
The mayor and council agreed on how they'll spend the general fund last week, again 3 months after their deadline. Neither side could tell if one negotiation would affect the other, but there's a clear breakdown in communication.
We're always sitting down and talking, and so that's where we go from here. Sit down and talk to the mayor and see where we can go from here.
This door is open every day. I tell them all the time, call me, text me, come in the office any time of the day. That's fine. I've not heard anything.
Neither side has budged for months, but Councilman Irvin hinted there may be a compromise in the city's future.
We see where we are, and I think Gonzales is going to come to a conclusion with this process.
In Gonzales, David Littman, Fox 44 News.
The mayor can present his next version of the budget 2 weeks from tonight. Then it will be another 2 weeks at the earliest before it could be approved, which is after Chief Jackson plans to repair the old cars. Baton Rouge police are excited to move into their new headquarters at the Old Women's Hospital, but it needs a little remodeling before they can do that. So contractors are tearing down walls, doors, bathrooms, and ceilings in prep for the move. They're reworking the floor plan to include private offices and more open space for cubicles. The same contractors and electricians who built Women's Hospital in the first place are working on the job to make sure everything done as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
Progress is good. Everything's on time. We're looking to be done sometime completely the first part of next year.
For now, you'll notice crews outside patching and painting the exterior of the building. Livingston Parish is expanding their transitional work program. Supporters broke ground this morning at the new building site in Walker. The work program allows inmates serving time for nonviolent crimes the opportunity to work a full-time job in the community. Right now, the program is operating out of the Livingston Parish Detention Center. But come summer 2015, the new transitional building will be open and be able to accommodate 150 inmates, doubling the program's capacity.
They have great skills. They want to do better in life. They realize they made a mistake. Many of us have in life, but they're getting a second chance, and I think that's my favorite part of it all.
The goal of the program is to keep released inmates from committing crimes because of a lack of money, resources, and stable job. Currently, over 60 full-time employed offenders work at 31 different job sites. Upon release, the inmates have the option of keeping their jobs. Longtime Southern University Administrator Dr. Elton Harrison has passed away over the weekend. Harrison served as Vice President of Academic Affairs and was a former member of the Southern University Board of Supervisors. He graduated from Southern in 1983 with a degree in technology and later helped to develop Southern's College of Engineering. Funeral arrangements are still pending. Dr. Harrison was 97 years old. We'll be right back.